Soak in PBW and just let it soak, and that will generally take care of it. If it's really bad, Barkeeper's Friend.
Barkeeper's Friend does a great job. Yeah. And it's what blew me away is most people don't realize Barkeeper's Friend's an acid.
It is.
Oxalic acid. They think it's a alkaline because PBW is a dry, and they think it's the same. And I'm like, I went and look up, and I'm like,
nope, it's exactly opposite.
Just like Star Sand, but powdered. I'm like,
and Barkeeper's Friend will remove beer stone, whereas Powder Brewery Wash doesn't do as well with that.
Recently, I used the 5-star BS. I call it
BS remover. Yeah, that's what they call it.
And it didn't do as well. I was there letting it soak a little more concentrated than normal. I finally said, forget this. And I remembered you recommending sometimes just using the Barkeeper's Friend. I dumped it out. I put that in there, let it sit for about 20 minutes. I come back out and it looks so much better. I'm like, okay, Barkeeper's Friend, yeah, I'm good. The other one I've heard, and I don't know if you've heard this, you've been in the business a lot longer than I have, and I got this off Reddit from professional brewers out there, is a little trick, which seems to work, and I've done it twice, is they said you use something like your Star Sand first, let it sit, and it'll soften things up a little, and then clean it with your PBW or your alkaline, and it helps to get it kind of loosens it up, I guess.
Well, I know there's a really strong surfactant in Star Sand, so I wonder if it's that surfactant that's crawling underneath the surfaces there. Interesting.
But yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, never thought about that one, because the guy was like, hey, here's a tip we use all the time. Put that in there first, then you use your caustic, which would be like your PBW. He goes, and then you can re-rinse later with your Star Sand. And I was like, never thought about that. But it was just to soften the material because I guess it was so crusted up. Somebody who was talking about brewing some or cleaning some stuff that had been sitting for a while.
Yeah, nobody does that.
I always have Barkeeper's Friend around.
I up on my cleaning, I have PBW, Star Sand, Barkeeper's Friend, BS remover, more for entertainment.
You know what it really works well? Barkeeper's Friend really works well on? Cleaning the bar.
You know what I use on my anvil? And somebody said Barkeeper's Friend looks good on the outside, but I'm terrified of using a powder that's dry.
It's not abrasive, oddly enough. Or if it is, it's very, very mildly abrasive. You're probably more likely to scratch it with the thing you're scrubbing it with than the actual...
I just use a little bit of Star Sand, wipe it all down, and then I take like about this much coconut oil, and I put it on, and I just, what's it called? What's that? A microcloth, the cloth for...
yeah, microfiber.
Microfiber. And I just wipe the whole thing down, and it looks all shiny again. Yeah. So it's that, not much to make it greasy, just enough to make it shiny, because it's stainless. I'm like...
You know, that's one of the reasons that we use a brush finish. It's because you get that mirror smooth stuff, and it never looks 100% clean, except when you take it out of the box.
I'm anti-green sponge because of the rough side. I'm anti-steel wool in a heartbeat. And I'm pro which feels rough, but it does a great job. Everybody says it won't scratch it, but is the yellow smiley faces, the sponge.
Oh, yeah.
I use that all the time, but I don't push with a lot of elbow. I just gently, and it just takes a little time, and everything comes right up.
Steel wool, the problem is not so much that it's going to scratch it, but the iron in there can adhere to the bottom, and you can get little rust spots.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I just knew it can create grooves, I was told.
It can, and that's more because it's the hardness of it. Okay. There's also stainless steel scrubbies, which you really don't want to use either. The green scrubbies you can use, but just know that it's going to, you'll see swirl marks from it. It's not going to, cause any trouble to the stainless. You'd have to be there for a long time, and you'd have several elbow surgeries by the time you ever scoured through it or hurt it. That chromium dioxide layer is going to immediately reform. Okay. I use the green scrubbies when it's a stubborn stain. I use the little blue scrubby when it's just for normal stuff, or the little yellow smiley face ones.
Yeah, the smiley face is like my go-to, and it's been doing me good, so I'm like...
Yeah, and now the chemicals that we've got available to the brewers are pretty good, and they'll take care of most things, especially if you have a little patience.
Yeah, the patient, a little heat, not too much, just enough, like I usually around, say, 122, whatever is coming out of the hot water heater. Yeah. And 20, 30 minutes, and usually I see a huge difference.